guys. Look out there at the kids' shows today. They are sick. Someone showed me some footage of Yo Gabba Gabba, or whatever the hell they call it nowadays, and oh my God, it was like a taped acid trip. Why would you ever expose your children to such a thing? I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, now that you've gotten all of the advice about babysitting for this week, I think we can safely wrap that one up and call it quits. A very interesting question, maybe a little more silly than we normally handle here, but you guys do just as well with silly as you do with the heady and intellectual stuff, and that is why I love you all. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit. Here's what I was thinking for the question of next week. For those of you that have been following along or follow any kind of video game buzz, there's a very significant game coming out on October 4th called Rage. Significant for many reasons. One, this is id Software's latest iteration, which, you know, and I'll talk about the historical significance of id Software in a moment, but id really is the creator of the genre, so they really have, I think, the greatest prominent position when they go to release a first-person shooter. And them releasing it, I think, is something significant that we should be talking about anyway. But it's also significant because I think there are a few points in here where it is trying to be a bit of a departure. And, you know, it's also supposed to be something that really, in a way that a lot of other games opened up the capability of the platforms we currently enjoy. This game really is supposed to do it, and that is the mark, the hallmark of John Carmack, the man that co-founded id Software, and also wrote a lot of the engine background and groundwork that sits behind some of the most wonderful games in history. Now, with Rage coming out this coming week, I started to think about some of the really awesome first-person shooters, the history of id Software, but not just that, all of the great first-person shooters that we've enjoyed over the years, and there have been many of them. We could talk about ones on PC, and mostly on PC. You could talk about ones on consoles. You could talk about how they've evolved into handheld systems and things like that that have come out now. And it's safe to say that it might be the most popular computer game genre ever, maybe until the MMORPG, which I think is probably indisputably the most popular genre now. But in thinking back throughout that crazy history of the last 20 years, I thought we should probably spend some time on that. And so this week I wanted to ask you a question. There have been so many great, groundbreaking first-person shooters over the years, and a lot of great features that have come into the first-person shooter genre that I think are great, and Rage really looks like it's going to be a game that could probably bring a lot of those things to the forefront. And so my question for next week is this. What has been the most groundbreaking first-person shooter? What has been the most groundbreaking first-person shooter? So go back with all the first-person shooters you've ever played, and trust me, there are so many, it's almost impossible to mention. But go back and think for a little while, and think about it hard, because as I started to do it, I started to realize these games that maybe I wasn't thinking of, and wasn't remembering, and wasn't, you know, exactly the first thing that popped into my head when I was thinking about it. But think back. Don't just write down the first thing that comes to your head. Really think this one through. What is the most groundbreaking first-person shooter that's ever been created? I think you're going to be surprised by the results. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I know I've already got a list pumping on my end that absolutely will respond to this question in a lot of ways I think will be really cool and fun and creative. I can't wait to see, as always, what you guys come up with. So I hope you can get used to and get on board with the new cadence that we've developed here for the Weekly Wringer. I hope it's not too disruptive. I hope you continue to watch. I hope you continue to comment. As always, this series is made by you guys, and it continues with your continued support. So with that, I say, you know, this is definitely, I think, a shift in what we're doing with the Weekly Ringer that I am very excited about. It's almost like a new beginning. That's how I'm thinking of it. I hope that's how you're thinking of it too. So I am the Commodore from the Clan of the Grey Wolf. Thank you for watching, everybody, and there is no reset button.